When you want your spring break to feel like... and your kids' pool day to feel like... and your hotel bed to feel like... ooh, and room service to feel like... because at Hilton, hospitality feels like...
Your cabana's ready. Would you like fresh towels?
it matters where you stay. Book now at Hilton.com. Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Introducing Virtuo Up, the latest in a long line of innovation from Nespresso. It's innovation you can touch, sense, and taste in every single cup. With a 3-second start, easy open lever, and dedicated brew over ice button, it's even easier to enjoy your coffee your way. Sip for yourself. Shop Virtuo Up exclusively at Nespresso.com.
Camilla kept saying, it looks good, you don't know, it looks good, it looks really good. You're not a designer, you don't know what looks good.
This is the plaintiff, Stella Flores. She says she hired the defendant to reupholster her sectional couch, and she botched the job big time. She doesn't have the money to have the couch redone, has lugged the thing to court to show the judge, and is suing for $2,218.15, the amount she paid the defendant. This is the defendant, Camilla Mann. She says the plaintiff hired her company to reupholster the couch, and when the plaintiff received it, she wasn't happy with the job. She told the plaintiff she'd take the couch back and have it redone, but the plaintiff refused. Next day, the sneaky woman stopped payment on her check. Besides, she thinks the couch looks great, and once the judge sees it, she's sure she'll agree. She's accused of couching the issue.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order. Yeah, I was asking for a little place I can sit down, so litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Flores,
Yes.
you are suing It's Doggy Time LLC.
Actually, It's Doggy Time is me.
I'm sorry, Ms. Flores, and It's Doggy Time LLC. You are suing Camilla Mann.
Yes.
Got it. And Open Square Architecture and Interior Industrial Design. All right. For $2,218.15 that you say they owe you because the work they did was subpar. All right. Tell me what happened here.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I have saved a lot of money. I run a wonderful dog walking boarding business in New York City, and I have a lot of clients that come in and out of my home, also board dogs in my home, and I really I've been saving money.
Where in New York City?
Well, I'm on the Upper West Side, but we take care of a large part of the city.
But is this you have an apartment?
I have an apartment in the city, yes.
Okay, and in your apartment, you
take care of dogs, yes. We'll only take 3 at one time. It's not a huge,
Does your apartment building know that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. So I've been saving money to get work done on my apartment. I went online and did some research and found the defendant and ended up meeting the defendant and liking her stuff.
Are you a designer or a decorator?
I'm a decorator.
Okay, and what's the difference between a designer and a decorator?
Usually the decorator just deals with the furnishing, window treatments, furniture, paintings on the wall. And an interior designer usually needs to design, either to add more space by putting new walls, taking down new walls, or designing.
An interior designer is not an architect necessarily. Some of them are both, but...
Exactly, but usually there is a need of designing something specific for the client. So either you design, let's say, dining table for him, or
you need added degrees in order to be an interior designer. Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So one of the things I really liked about Miss Mann she was really sweet. I felt like we were on the same page because I definitely have an idea of what I want. I can just be very indecisive. And so my apartment has a lot of brown woods and it's very dark. And I had a brown couch. The couch was brown. I loved the couch. We're trying to work around that, how we could really brighten up and liven up the space with the brown couch. came to the point where it didn't seem like that was working, and I didn't like some of the things. I thought, oh, we could put in this and make this color, and it just wasn't working. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna start searching for a new couch. So I started looking online, in stores.
Okay, kickstart for this for me. You didn't find a couch you liked. This is your old brown couch.
Exactly.
You asked her to have it recovered.
Well, she said, you know, Stella, I'm part of a company. We do reupholsters all the time. You should really consider us to take on your reupholster job.
Now, you had an original agreement with her that you were going to pay her X amount an hour. Do you have that in writing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Let me see that. For the hours part.
Just for the 12 hours,
Then you paid her, it was a separate contract when you agreed to have her recover the, okay.
That wasn't
and what
with
they
her.
charged you for recovering the couch was the $1,442.
Absolutely.
Did that include fabric, or you paid
No,
for the fabric
I
separate?
paid for the fabric
You paid
separately.
$418, which you're also suing for the fabric.
Absolutely.
And then here's what happens. They send the couch over to your house. It's wrapped up. You don't open it up.
Okay, so she was there, and I thought, I know they're double parked outside. So I gave her the money, thinking that the gentleman who delivered it's gonna unwrap the couch. And they just left it there. And I'm like, wait.
Left it where?
On my floor. In the
Inside
wrapping.
your house?
Inside my house, in the wrapping. I'm like, are you guys gonna unwrap it and put it back together? And they're like, oh, that's not part of the contract. And I said, okay, well, I can't do this by myself. I can't lift this couch. Can somebody help me? And she's like, okay, I'll help you. So the man ended up leaving. It was Camilla who ended up putting the couch together, and
go on.
We had issues from the get-go.
And the issues from the get-go are?
So the tufting, which I found out later.
Was your original couch tufted?
Yes.
Tufted with buttons?
No, it was tufted, but it was deep tufting.
Deep tufting, where you could see the tufting
Yes, and I
clearly.
have prior pictures if you'd like to see.
Yeah, I'd like to see them.
Absolutely. I know they have some on a computer here.
Those might be clear.
That, I think they will. And I need to find this.
Is this your prior couch?
That's not the brown couch.
Come on over here. Which couch is this?
That's
This couch.
This couch.
Okay. Is this a
So
brown
all
couch?
yeah.
Okay. So this is what you meant by
Yeah.
deep tufting.
Exactly. And what they were supposed to do is, and Camilla and I had talked about it, on this you can see that they put the lines in.
And the lines are formed how? Stitching?
Stitching. And we decided to take the stitching out.
That's probably a bad idea.
Well, exactly now. But I asked her, would this couch still hold up? And she's like, yeah, because we're going to make it deep enough so that we'll do...
What's that?
So this is now what it is. So the first night I sat on the couch and that popped up, literally an hour after they left. This is a nightmare.
Which couch is this?
This is this couch. Some of the tufting already started popping out.
What is this, a video?
Yes.
A video of what? You brought me the couch. What could be better?
I know. Well, this is what I said to them, because he said, oh, the general manager of the company said, I need to do an investigation. So as you can see.
Is this the part that comes out?
Yeah.
Pull it out for me.
So I sat down here, and this stuff just popped out. And then here, when the couches are pushed together, you can see that they pull
don't meet.
one side in, and look, now it's actually popping out.
So this seam, rather than being straight and next to this one where there would be no gap, is pulled so taut that there's a gap here that won't close.
Exactly.
You need to go back to the go ahead.
This couch took them 3.5 weeks to do, and this couch took them a day and a half from email I have. It just said, we finished the small couch, and now we went to the big couch. Can I show you
No,
one?
That doesn't mean, you waited 3.5 weeks. It doesn't mean it took them 3.5 weeks.
Can I show you one other
No.
stitching that's
What's
on?
going on?
The thing is, like, this couch has some faults from the manufacturer that did the couch first. So the cover was done.
The problem is that the tufting, you can't even see the tufting. The tufting on the original couch is deep. Granted, when you put the seams, it'll look deeper visually.
Exactly, visually it will look deeper. This
But
one,
so why did you guys decide not to put the seams?
Because I've discussed with the client, and she said that she likes the idea without the seam. So then we said,
and that can work so long as, and she says that you told her it'll work so long as the tufting is deep and has wrinkle. So if you pull it hard and taut, then the wrinkle will create the look she's looking for. This is really bad. It's a bad job. I've reupholstered many things in my day. This is just a bad job.
This is not how she received the couch. around 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. when we were in the house, and she was saying, look.
When you were in the house and helping her put it together, did you unwrap it with her?
Yes.
So she sold you right away. Oh my God.
Exactly. Yes, she told me, and I was like, look, from my point of view, the way I see the tough things. They look good, but if you are not happy, then we can just take the couch right now. We pull it deeper, and we just bring the couch at no cost. And she said no. So at that
She
point,
said no what? No comma?
No, I won't give you the couch. So there was no way we could help.
Now you have a different story of how that played out.
Yes.
What do you say happened? Because if you're standing there and she's standing there and the driver's right outside, why didn't you just reject the couch?
Well, I guess I could have said, take it back. But
Yes.
they said, they said, we're not taking it back. It looks.
Who said that?
Camilla kept saying, it looks good. You don't know. It looks good. It looks really good. You're not a designer. You don't know what looks good.
She's not a designer.
That's what she's. And I
That's
said, you
not
need to
true.
take the couch back. And I have phone records of me calling because then they just walked out. I said, this is customer service, and I have phone records just calling her.
Let
her,
me
come
see your
back
cycle
up.
calling.
Come back, pick up this couch. Come back.
Let me see
pick
the
up this
cycle
couch.
calling.
Take this couch with you. It's not done properly.
Do you have text or email or anything?
Absolutely.
Let me see them.
And I have text messages of an hour after we finished that conversation of me texting her when I sat down on that edge and that fabric packed up. I took a picture and I said, fabric just popped out of your couch. Looked so good and worked so well.
Just for the record, the fabric cannot pop out.
What are you talking about? Go look
It cannot pop out. It has a gap of around 3 inches where the fabric was. It cannot pop out, literally, like physically, whatever you want, without putting.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either how that material could pop out from a 3-inch deep hole.
I'm less concerned about that than I am about the visual effect of the tufting. It's not done well. It's not uniform. Some are deeper than others. None of them are really that deep to have the effect of tufting.
Now, the effect of tufting, we made them deep enough.
What day did you deliver it?
On December 10th.
Yeah. The cycle calling starts at 5:37, 5:39, 6:03, 6:13, 6:16.
So by 7 p.m. there was no way.
At 6:03, you have a 10-minute conversation with her. So she calls you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Exactly. I was driving at 7 p.m.
So what does she have to call you a second time? If you said, oh, no worries, I'll take it back and do it right, what does she have to call you for? It's starting to sound like maybe she's trying to convince you to take it back.
At that point, there was no way I could return the car and pick up the sofa because it was already 6 p.m. There is no way I can hold the workers and the car so they can be at my disposal at any time. That's why we offered her to take the couch right away on the spot when she told us that she is not happy.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So do you have a right, if you order something custom, to expect perfection?
Oh, yeah, I think you do because, I mean, you're paying your money for something.
What if it's a tiny, tiny imperfection? This one was much bigger than tiny, but if it's tiny, what do you think?
It's okay. If it's tiny. Well, depending on how much it is.
What about that? A small imperfection.
No, that's outrageous. That's outrageous.
What is it?
It's outrageous.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
You're saying she's just a liar, that
She's lying.
never happened.
Never happened. She kept
Because
saying, it looks
the
good.
thing is, she's
Looks
so
good.
praised about how bad it looks, but you know, and then according to her, you're telling her, live with it. You're wrong. It looks good. So let's say for a moment she's tried to live with it, and then within an hour she's like, I can't live with this, and starts texting you. Either way, at some point, do you offer to pick up the couch and remedy the situation?
In the same day, no.
Okay. When do you offer?
I said, I will tell my manager and he will deal with this. So the second day, the manager writes her an email saying, Miss Flores, please tell us about the problems. I want to hear from your, with your own words and everything. So then she sent us the video. Meanwhile, the payments that she gave us, they had the stop payment on it. So at that point, the manager said, you know what? We will still fix the couch because we see you're not happy, but you have to bring it to our shop and take it back.
Because you were nasty and did a stop payment.
Yes, because also our company was
for every action there is a reaction. Okay.
We never said that we won't help her solve the couch. We don't want our customers to have
understand why you
something
stopped payment, because the ball was still in your court. You still had the power to stop payment. They hadn't cashed your check. So I understand why you stopped payment. that's the reason that they then said, oh, you pay the shipping. So how is that you making good if you're making her pay the shipping? But I totally understand them. How are they're going to say, oh, we're going to pay for shipping, and she's running and canceling the payment behind her back?
And also under contract, there was stipulated the delivery and installation were not included in the price, which means that she had to pay additional fees for the delivery. At $75 per delivery and $75 per pickup.
Okay, but if the reason that there's an extra delivery is because of you, then she doesn't have to pay that.
I understand, but that's
right,
why
and that's the rub. When you turn around, you have an obligation to provide a good that is conforming with the order. I'm looking at that, and I don't like it. I don't like it. That piece needed to be sucked. Part of it is really puckered. The other part isn't. They're not all puckered enough. Some of them are more. It's not uniform. It's a problem. So when you deliver a non-conforming good, you can't tell the customer, oh, I'll make it conforming according to the UCC, but only if you pay $75. Put your hand down and wait. I'm in the middle of a sentence. What did I breathe and give you the impression I was done? All right. So the problem is that when that happens, what you have to do is it's your responsibility, according to the Uniform Commercial Code, to pick up the item and make the customer happy, even if the customer's a witch. Not suggesting you're a witch, but even if the customer does nasty stuff, even if in your mind, even if the customer stops payment on the check.
Okay, but then how do I have the? I mean, how can I say, Your Honor, we didn't
when you stop payment on the check, they don't have. I don't understand. What check was that?
So I paid they had me pay 60% in the beginning and then 40% or 40% in the beginning, 60%.
Just tell me the monies. How much was the check?
The check was for $300, and I gave them $400 in cash.
The same day?
Yes.
So you gave them, and so how much of the $1,400 price of the couch had you paid? All of it?
It was $17. I have the breakdown right here.
It was $17. Okay.
Yeah. So
what you're suing for is what you did pay them, not the thing that
exactly.
You, okay.
Exactly.
And you're also suing for the fabric because you're gonna have to buy new fabric to recover.
Exactly.
Okay. Now $25 to stop payment on the check. Okay. No, that was your choice to do that. They don't pay you to do that. I am, however, going to order you to reimburse her for the amount paid for the couch that you did collect and for the fabric, which is $418.15. Therefore, I find in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $1,860.15. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Okay, both sides.
See what the defendant has to say coming out of the courtroom here on the losing end of this case. Well, what's your reaction when you heard that verdict?
Well, it is what it is. It seems that she was right because the product was not according to the specification, and probably we would have had to do it before we got here. So
It's a valuable lesson for both of us, and next time we're going to try to do it better.
What's the lesson you learned?
I mean, we're going to try to pay more attention to the feedback from our customers.
All right, that's good. If you do that, we probably won't see you in here again. All right, head right around the corner this way, okay? Come on in here and let me hear how you feel about the outcome here. You satisfied with it?
Satisfied, but you still have to get a new couch, and here we go.
For the animals to jump on, right?
Yeah, exactly, for the animals to jump on. So.
That one wasn't good enough for the animals?
No, it's not. Even they're sinking into it.
All right, okay, over to Harvey here.
You know, the deal is you should always inspect the item that you get before the delivery person leaves. Simple as that. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by eBay. On eBay, behind every car and part is a story waiting to be shared. I read about this guy who bought a nearly scrapped 2020 Porsche Cayman. He rebuilt the whole thing, all with parts he found on eBay. And now, that Cayman is out tearing up the track. From Toyota to Aston Martins, eBay has thousands of cars and the largest online selection of vehicle parts and accessories. eBay, things people love.
Spring is here, and there's a whole new way to chai at Starbucks that's made perfect for you. Choose your sweetness, dial it up, or keep things light. Add a touch of pistachio, a hint of strawberry, or vanilla, or make it a spring classic with lavender. Because this season, there's endless ways to chai at Starbucks.
These are the plaintiffs, John and Laura Napierkowski. John says he and his wife hired the defendant's moving company to pack up and move them from the home they shared into 2 different locations. Unfortunately, the moves were chaotic. Many of their items were broken, and they're having one heck of a time getting reimbursed for their losses. So they're suing the maniac movers for every penny of the $5,000 they're owed. This is the defendant, Eugene. He says the plaintiffs were supposed to mark all their items in either blue tape or yellow tape, depending on which location they wanted them moved to. Needless to say, they didn't, so the move didn't go as smoothly as it could have. He does admit a few items were damaged, and he made every effort to repair them, but was denied access. The plaintiffs are now exaggerating their losses in an attempt to extort money from him, but he won't bow down to anyone. He's accused of being a marked moving man.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiffs hired the defendant's moving company, and there was lots of glassware carnage. But the defendant says the plaintiffs caused their own problems by not packing properly. It's the case of you moved me badly.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, John and Laura Naporkowski.
Yes.
You are suing the moving company. You've asked to not mention the company by name and to call you Eugene by your first name. And we'll respect that, for $5,000 of value of items that you say have been damaged by them in the move and that they refuse to pay you. Tell me what happened.
I hired the moving company in May to do 2 moves at the same time. We just bought a house in Georgia, and so I had to move my stuff down to Georgia. My wife was staying in New York for a little while longer because she was having work done on her teeth and all that, and it wasn't finished, so we had to get her an apartment so she can move there. So, and that was a quarter mile, less than a quarter mile from where we lived, so it was around the corner. They sent in on May 30th, I think it was, 12, 13 guys moving stuff all over the place. It was hectic, chaotic. They finally got...
I don't know too many moves that are calm and while you're drinking Swiss
Oh, yeah,
Miss.
people running all over the house, packing boxes, moving stuff, asking questions.
Okay, wait, so they were packing you too?
They were packing both at the same time. I really didn't want that, but they were,
right,
we were told...
but I've always found that to be such a luxury. What do you charge to pack somebody? Like, first of all, I wouldn't want anybody touching my stuff anyway. It would creep me out, but...
It depends on, it goes by the carton. We give an estimate of how many cartons they want us to pack, and based on how many cartons they want to pack, and it goes by a carton.
But you literally take every single item in their house and box it?
Yes.
I'm too much of a control freak. I could just never let that kind of modicum of control where then you're trying to figure out where everything is later and if it made it there. I just can't do it. All right, so anyway, go ahead.
So they did the move. They moved her to the apartment right around the corner. And the first thing they noticed they broke a pedestal that was my mother's. They recognized that on the receipt. A broken pedestal.
Yeah.
That was noted quickly on the sheet from the
Okay, so it's made out of what?
Plaster, I guess it was.
Okay. All right.
It's,
I take it you don't have a receipt or anything for
no, that was my mother's.
Okay. Okay, so go on.
All right, so during the move, they put a rip in the back of the love seat.
When did you purchase that love seat?
About 6 years ago.
Do you have the receipt for the love seat?
No, I don't.
You don't? How much did you pay for the love seat?
We paid a little over $3,000 for this love seat and couch.
So how is it you're suing for $2,000 for this love seat?
Love seat can't be replaced. I went to an upholsterer in Georgia.
Right.
And he says you can't replace, you can't, barely he can fix it. He doesn't know if he can
First of
fix
all,
it.
why can't an upholsterer reupholster the couch?
Oh, they can't get the material.
No, the same material with a different material.
Then it wouldn't match anything.
Oh, right, because it has other stuff that, okay.
It has the couch. I have a picture of the couch.
Is this where you have the couch?
Yeah, this is the couch.
The couch is against the wall?
Yeah.
The couch is against the wall. The love seat was blocking the living room, dining room area.
Yeah, and we had to switch that around now because of the tear. We have to put it in front of a window, which we really didn't want to do.
Right. So you paid $3,000 for this couch and this love seat.
Yep.
And you're suing for $2,000 to replace the love seat.
Yeah, can't replace it. Even the upholsterer said not going to be replaceable.
All right, so go on.
They lost,
There's 3 more things in your lawsuit. One of them is a scratch coffee table. Can I see the And are you noticing, is this in Georgia or in the apartment?
This is the apartment.
How did things go in Georgia? We don't know yet?
We know. We had some damage. I had an adjuster. Well, I'm going to step back.
You don't have anything from Georgia in this lawsuit?
Nope.
Because what? You're suing in Georgia?
Yes.
You're suing them in Georgia?
Yes.
Do they know that?
Yes.
Not until now?
Not until now.
All right, now you don't deny, do you deny that?
No, the damage
The question is one not of liability, but of damages, because you believe that they're inflating this when they're asking for $5,000.
That's correct. I had an adjuster look at the pictures, and he wanted to go to the home, and when we called, they said, Mrs. Naprakowski said that she was moving again, and she didn't have time for him to come over.
Why wouldn't you have time for him to come over?
So the love seat and the couch cost $3,000 new. Now they're used items, and the plaintiffs won $2,000 for the love seat. Is that greedy?
That is extremely greedy. You can't expect $2,000 for a used couch repair.
Used love seat.
Used love seat, even if you're just.
So what's it worth? I mean, what's a used love seat when the whole thing was $3,000 new?
At least $1,000. I mean, the love seats.
You would give them $1,000 for that.
I would think that.
Okay, what do you think?
Maybe $1,500 at most.
Yeah, but that's almost like giving them the cost of a new love seat.
Yeah, just a couple hundred for repairs, probably. I think just a couple hundred for repairs.
Okay, fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
I told him I was moving, but he would have to come before the date I was moving to
And
have
when
it
were you
done.
moving?
I moved to Georgia in...
No. How long after that phone conversation were you moving?
The last call I got from Mr. McAvey was July 12th.
I'm not asking about a call you got. I'm asking your wife
I didn't
about
get a call from him.
Wait, who did you talk to, her
He
or
came to
him?
my apartment.
Her.
In person or on a phone?
On the phone.
No.
After I came through, I went to her apartment to take pictures of the items. And after I left her house, I went over to the adjuster to have him take a look at the items to get a cost.
Okay, bottom line is your adjuster was never able to go and see them in person, but
That's
he was
correct.
able to look at pictures. But in any event, why wasn't your insurance company more speedy?
They have up to 90 days to settle a claim. And they
Yeah, it
didn't
does say that. It says it right on the bottom of the form. It says 90 days. So why didn't you wait the 90 days?
Because I got 4 different stories from him on how we were going to do the claim.
Very impatient.
First they were going to come to the house, to the apartment, and fix stuff. Then it was we're going to send somebody there to pick it up to send it out. Then it was we're going to send an adjuster.
Show me the wood wall plaque that you say is missing.
No, not missing. It was.
I'm sorry that you say it's damaged. I've seen the pictures of the coffee table. I've seen the pictures of the sofa and the pedestal.
It was also after the fact.
What is this thing?
It's a pedestal. It hangs on the wall. It's
a wooden
Spanish.
wall plaque.
Behind it, you'll see the whole picture.
Okay, with all due respect, both the coffee table and this wood has a solution. A repair is a solution. Okay.
Yeah, it could be.
I think that the pedestal, I don't know that it has a solution. I don't know how much it's worth, but the sofa is probably the biggest problem. What's this a picture of?
It's a portable air conditioner. The vents out there, and my wife noticed later on after we filed the.
I want to use it.
Right.
And then you say there's 4 missing coats?
Yeah, I don't know where they are.
They didn't go to Georgia.
Because when we moved, they packed some of the stuff that was in the closet. When I unpacked my stuff in New York...
Is there an inventory of the stuff that got packed?
Just the stuff that went to Georgia, there's an inventory.
There's no inventory for the Yonkers stuff?
No, because it's what we call an on and off. We loaded it in the morning and delivered it in the afternoon. So everything that was loaded in the morning.
So I can't even look at anything to see if the coats were packed? How do I know you didn't just lose your coats?
They weren't. They didn't. I assumed that they got mixed up and went to Georgia.
4 coats?
Yeah.
Do you have any receipts for the coats?
No.
How am I just gonna pick a figure out of the sky?
Buy coats. You wear them 2 times and you throw the receipts out.
Not me.
But everything that was marked to go to Yonkers went in the truck, and the truck drove over and unloaded. So if it went on the truck, it went off the truck. We didn't just stop on the side of the road and sell stuff.
Yeah, but sometimes movers lose things. I don't know. This is going to be one of those cases where I do what, Douglas?
Looks like some really rough justice. on this
Really
one.
rough justice, which is for me to look at the damage and assess what I believe the damage is worth. I believe the damage is worth $1,000, and I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiffs in the amount of $1,000. Good luck.
Well, let's see what the defendant has to say coming out here. Stand right next to me right here and tell me what's your reaction, what they got out of this?
Well, I think the prices was fair. If my adjuster was allowed to do the repairs, I'm sure it would have came right around that same price.
This was a complicated move, right? As even you,
it was complicated because there were two different places they were supposed to
Did you bite off a little more than
no, not
you
at
could
all.
chew in this case?
Not at all.
Like this?
No, because we moved her on one day, moved him on the next day. So it was basically two moves in 2 days.
Business as usual?
Business as usual.
All right, head right around the corner right this way. And all right, he did his best. Come on in here and let's see how the plaintiff feels about what they came out of here with. Are you satisfied?
Yeah, I think just because an item is old doesn't mean that it has value. Just like the pedestal is an heirloom, I can't replace it.
How are you going to resolve this problem where your wife doesn't like being in Georgia?
She will.
I'll just say I'm a New Yorker, born and raised.
Yeah? How does that work in Georgia?
It's too quiet down there.
Harvey?
You know, a lot of these movers have what they call liability limitations in these contracts, where they can limit their liability to a very small amount of money. It's based on the pound of the item. And, you know, it could really, really screw you up. So you should think about, for valuable stuff, definitely getting moving insurance. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
We all have that dream trip we've been wishing we could go on. But too often, life, or usually price, gets in the way. That's why Priceline is here to help you turn your dream trip into reality. With up to 60% off hotels and up to 50% off flights, you can book everything you need for your next adventure. Don't just dream about that next trip. Book it with Priceline. Download the Priceline app or visit Priceline.com and book your next trip today.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
This is the plaintiff, Eduardo Rosenfried. He says a car he co-owned with an employee of his was illegally towed off his rental property, and now the car's gone missing. That's right, 1 minute it was there, next minute towed away by the defendant, and she doesn't know what happened to it. He doesn't know what's going on with the slack-jaw defendant and her business of scams, but he's suing for the $1,000 he spent on the vehicle and wants his money pronto. This is the defendant, Sharon Wiltshire. She says she towed a car which had no plates on it and even placed an orange sticker on it advising the owners to move it because it was going to be hauled away in 24 hours. The car ended up sitting in her lot. There was a lien placed on it and the car was sold at auction. Bottom line, she did her job by the book, and the plaintiff doesn't have a case. She's accused of being tow happy.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant towed a car illegally and it's had a horrible impact on his life. But the defendant says the tow was legal and the plaintiff had more than enough opportunity to avoid it. It's the case of sore tow.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Eduardo Rosenfried?
Yes.
You are suing Carmel Towing, represented here by Sharon Wiltshire. You're suing them for $1,000 for illegally towing a vehicle. Tell me what happened.
On Saturday, November 3rd, 2012, I was approached by one of my tenants. She made me notice that there was a parked car in the property that didn't belong to one of the tenants in the property.
Okay. How big? What is your position with that property?
I'm co-owner with my wife.
All right. So a tenant calls you and says it's an unidentified car.
Right.
And what do you do?
And what I do, I look at the car. It looked familiar, but I wasn't sure. So what happened is I was about to go home, and I was approached by two ladies. One of them was Sharon. Her name was Sharon, she told me.
That would be
and
you.
She asked me,
ma'am. Okay.
She asked me if I had any illegally parked car in my property, and this happened right away after I was told. So I said, it seems that way.
How did you know?
I live down the street from his unit.
Yeah,
But how do you know that he hasn't illegally parked? What do you do? Just walk around?
No,
Is that how
he
you
was
drum up
putting
business?
a for rent sign up. He had a unit available,
right.
and he was writing a sign out for rent for the apartments, and I was going to get a unit available for my coworker, one of his units.
Right, but he says you asked him, do you have any illegally parked cars?
No, I asked him, I said, we were at Carmel's Towing, and we put up signs to have cars towed, and he said yes. You came at the right time. And he signed a note and put it on the car, and I came back and tagged
Signed a note?
it.
What note?
This note here.
Okay. He signs a note and puts it on the car that says what?
Towed within 24 hours.
You wrote a note and put it on the car, and
Yes.
you did?
I did personally, yes.
You
Both
did?
in English and Spanish.
And both in English and Spanish?
Right.
You are parked illegally.
Yes, I did that. That's my
Okay, that's not how you
handwriting.
spell illegally, but okay. You are parked illegally, must remove car between 24 hours or it will be towed away. For questions, call George. So you put that on the car.
Yes. Well, what happened is that morning I was approached by one of my workers, and he requested if I could lend him $1,000 to purchase this car, 1997 Saturn. So I decided to lend him the money, provided that he pays me back. So
This had happened earlier that day?
yes.
You're not going to tell me that's the car.
Yes, that's the car.
You are going to tell me that's
yes,
the car?
that's exactly
So,
what I'm going to
so wait.
So
I'm sorry. Hold on. So she comes in, they work for the towing company.
Right.
You say you came in the nick of time.
Right.
You
got sent,
ask them to
sent
tow the car. You tell them this
no,
car.
I didn't ask them to tow the car because I wasn't sure who the car, whether it belonged to one of my tenants or who the car was.
So
But
what did you ask them?
what I did is, well, she told me that she will come back if I sign a contract with them. She will come back on the next following Monday, and they will, advise the person to remove the car between 24 hours, otherwise they will tow it away.
So when did you sign the contract? So you signed a
Saturday
contract for towing?
afternoon, yes.
Okay. So you sign he signs a contract with you on what day?
November the 3rd.
November the 3rd, is that correct?
2012. That's correct.
And then at that time, do you put anything on the car?
Yes, ma'am. We stick it with the orange stickers.
That actually sticks? Or it's a piece of paper?
We just put it on a piece of paper.
Okay. So this is on November 3rd.
Yes, ma'am.
And so on November 3rd, you write, this car will be towed in 24 hours. Today's date. Of course, doesn't have, just says warning. It doesn't have like your tow company info or anything.
No.
How
not on
come?
that.
Just on purpose you guys don't do it?
We just put the, we just tag it. Now they let the driver know what car to get when they get there.
You don't want phone calls saying, please, please give me another day. So you just say, all right. So, and here's a picture of the car with both. How did you think to take a picture of the car?
That's what we do.
You always take a picture after you
Yes.
tag it so that there's no question you tagged it. And then when did you tow it?
The 4th, in 24 hours.
Okay, 24 hours later you tow it. And then when's the first time we realized what happened?
Well, what happened is I get a phone call that somebody left a sign on this car. I said, yes, I did the car. I left the sign on the car because I didn't recognize the car. I didn't know that it was the car that he requested from me to lend him $1,000 to get it. So he said, don't worry about it because they're supposed to come and put a sign the following Monday, warning
Says
the
who?
person. What?
The following
Carmel,
Monday.
Michelle
Hold
told me.
on. Let's see when what day of the week November 3rd was.
Saturday.
November 3rd was a Saturday.
Right.
So why are there signs that have to go up on the 5th when, according to this, it's getting towed on the 4th? Why were you relaxed?
First of all, I didn't know who the car was, who belonged to. Second of all, I was expecting them to place a sign on the following Monday, as
Why?
they told me.
The sign
That's
was
what they told me.
placed then.
Right. I was just, waiting for the person, giving a chance to the person to remove the car.
So you didn't know that they would place the orange sign?
No.
But
I
she
didn't
was
see that.
standing right there
No, she
next
came
to
back
your sign.
after I placed that sign.
Did
I
you put the
never
orange
saw that
sign in front of him or not in front of him?
When he left, I stayed out 3 houses down. When I see him tag the car and put the white sign up there, I came back and took a picture and
And then
tagged
put
the two.
yours. So he
Yes.
didn't know that you put the orange sign.
exactly.
But then your workers call you and they say there's 2 signs on the car.
No, so one sign. I said, I did place the sign.
So then you come in on Sunday and you tow the car, and then at that point, you get a phone call from him when? On Monday?
No,
Sunday. He said, Sharon, could you bring the car back? I said, well, since we just signed the contract with you, we can give it back to you for $50 because I don't want to lose the contract with you when we just signed up. So I said, give me $50 and bring the proper paperwork that's your car, and you could be able to get it out. But they didn't ever come back with the $50 about legal documents.
So nobody ever went to pick up the car?
No. When I called on Sunday, Michelle told me that they were going to tow the car back to the property, and they didn't.
No, I didn't.
Nobody at this point told me that I had to pay to get the car back or anything. See, the days go up, and every day there's another $30 or $25 charge going over. So it's like they're waiting for time to go by so they can get me with more money.
Oh, my goodness. Where's the car now?
In the yard, at the job.
Oh,
Did it get junked?
I get the car back. I'm fine with that.
It's still there.
I'm sure you're fine with
Yeah.
that. No kidding, you're fine with that. So how can we resolve this?
So, this whole thing about, tow truck drivers, they're kind of shady and whatnot, is that a bad rap or is it fair?
It's a bad rap.
Why do you say?
Because nobody likes getting their car towed, but they're just doing their job.
So you go into it not liking them.
Go into it already hating
Fair
them.
enough, that's actually a good point. You agree or not?
I agree with her on what she said.
Are they like everybody else, basically?
Yeah, I think they're like everyone else. People just hate them because...
They're just doing their job.
Yeah, exactly.
What about tow truck drivers versus lawyers? Who do you trust more?
Lawyers.
Really?
Yeah.
We won one. How about that? Going inside the courtroom.
What do we need to do?
If you want the car back, my boss man said he can give it back to you for $1,500.
1,000?
Yeah, he want 1,000.
You were gonna say 150. What happened to you?
Sorry.
Oh, how can we resolve this? This is kind of silly. You guys don't want the car, obviously. That's,
No.
So what are you willing to take to get the car? And don't tell me 1,000. Come on.
That's what he said.
That's what your boss said?
Yes, 15.
1,500. Well, that's not going to happen.
I know.
So,
I know.
So unless he's in the business of buying and selling cars, which I imagine he's not, and he doesn't want the car.
Why don't you just talk to Dave?
Why didn't you just talk to Dave?
Just me.
Talk to Dave, the boss man. And
The boss
can you work
man.
something with
I
him?
never
Boss
got
man
a chance
Dave.
to talk to Dave. Nobody ever told me who the boss was.
Well, come on. Dave sent you in here. Show some, show some...
I don't even know what he looks
Get fired.
I don't know. You want to work a deal out?
Yeah.
You want the car?
like. Yeah.
Work a deal out.
Okay, the 1,000.
Oh, okay. Well, here's the thing. You guys didn't counterclaim. So there's only his claim against you for 1,000.
Okay.
And I don't know how on God's green acres it could be any worse for you in your claim against them for 1,000. You ask them to tow it. You ask them to become your tow company. You tell them you're a savior. You've come in the nick of time. There's an illegal car here. They do exactly what you hire them to do. They put the warning notice on it. You put a warning notice saying that that car is illegally parked. So I've never had a case like this. I've never had a case where an owner of a car asked somebody to tow their car and then said, wait, it turns out that car is mine. It's fascinating. It's been real fun, but you can't win against them, and my verdict in this case is for the defendants.
Thank you.
So plaintiff on his way out of the courtroom, a chance for us to find out what's going through your mind right now after you lose this case.
I think it's not fair. I don't think justice being served because they told me they were going to place the sign the following Monday, and they towed the car on Sunday, not even 24 hours.
It seems like you're not really on the ball.
No, maybe a brain damage.
Oh. All right, okay. So, all right, right this way. Follow Officer McIntosh, please.
Thank you, sir.
What are you going to do with this car now?
I guess we'll sell it. Income tax time is right around the corner.
You couldn't make a nicer deal with this guy than $1,000?
Talk to my boss, and that's what he say.
You're a model employee, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
You just do whatever the boss says.
Yes.
Harvey?
Okay, in this case, I gotta tell you, not only did the defendant follow the law, but the plaintiff actually gave permission to tow the car. So here's the deal. If you're having a legitimate dispute with a tow truck company, a lot of them are licensed to do business in the state where they do business. And if you contact the licensing agency, if you're having a dispute, they may be able to put pressure on the tow truck company if they've done something wrong. It's a way of avoiding court.